Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be talking about my endoscopy procedure experience. I had one yesterday, Wednesday, January the 23rd, and it was a pretty interesting experience. I will say that I was very, very nervous, and I don't even think nervous was the word. I was incredibly anxious. But I'll get more into all of that and the details. But a little backstory, I've been having stomach issues, gut issues since about March 2018, so almost a year. And doctors thought I just had a really bad acid reflux reaction. Prior to that, I've never had acid reflux. I've had gas and stuff like that, but nothing that was crazy or out of the ordinary, nothing that was building up. And then it just kind of escalated. It never really got better. Or when it would get a little bit better, I would eat something that would kind of irritate it, and then it would get worse. So they put me on Prilosec, and that was around April. I want to say that they put me on Prilosec. Yeah. So I was on Prilosec for about 2 months, and in that time I was getting worse, and I thought, oh no, there's something really wrong with me. I wound up at the ER about 3 times. Within that time frame, because all sorts of things were going on with me. My fingers were getting numb. I was getting lightheaded every time I stood up, and no matter what I did to curb all of these things, it wouldn't go away. So I finally looked into the side effects of Prilosec, because that was the only medication I was taking, and come to find out that in like the rare side effects, Prilosec has things like heart palpitations, dizziness, things like that. So I stopped taking it. And within a week of not taking it, I started feeling so much better. And I was like, great, that's fantastic. I don't need to take this anymore. I don't need to take anything. I'm healed. So the discomfort went away. But I had like this weird like pain in my breastbone area on the left side. And so of course you feel that kind of stuff. You're like, oh no, it's heart attack. And I had it for so long, since March, that I kind of got used to it, because it would come and go. And then in September, they diagnosed me with costochondritis. And I was like, great, that's, one of the things is because of severe acid reflux or an injury. So I was like, okay, fine. Then I ended up, cutting lots of things out of my diet, reintroducing things, trying to figure out what was going on with me. And from about September to a couple of days ago, it just still not sure what it is. I've cut out gluten. I've cut out lactose a long time ago when I found out I was lactose intolerant. So we haven't done a gluten test yet. I've only been gluten-free for a month, so I know that I probably should be ingesting some gluten. And before I go any further, I don't necessarily want any medical advice, because I have my own doctors. I've been my own advocate. I've been trying to find elimination diets, all these things. So if you suggest something, I probably already looked into all of this stuff, because chances are I've been to the ER about 8 times since March. So yeah, and they haven't found anything wrong. Nothing that was concerning, of course. Heart rate was fine, EKGs were fine, everything is fine. It's just they don't know what's going on with me. So I went and got my endoscopy yesterday, and the whole procedure was actually a lot easier, and just it was so much better than I thought it was going to be. The night before, I barely got any sleep because I was so nervous, and the nerves carried on over into my sleep, and I woke up feeling uncomfortable. But you're not supposed to eat or drink anything, I think, until after midnight the night before. And my appointment was like at 9:30 in the morning, so I had to be there at 8:30. You have to be there about an hour early for your appointment. So I couldn't eat anything or drink anything after midnight. And if you do, you have to tell them, like, yes, I had something, and then they have to reschedule, obviously. So you get into the weight room, and it started calming down a little bit more when I saw people who were there before me go in and then come out and leave, because their procedure was completely done. So, I was there for an hour, and I saw how quick some people were leaving. And then after waiting, I'd say closer to 9:30, a nurse took me back into my room, and they hooked me up to vitals machine, all of that stuff. They asked me my information about 3 times, and then an anesthesiologist nurse, I think that's what she said she was, she came in and she asked me, of course, all sorts of information as well, asked me if I knew my weight, my height, all that stuff. And so, of course, I told her everything that I could know. And I was actually very mucousy. I've been dealing with a lot of sinus stuff, post-nasal drip. So they gave me something that clears that out, because the nurse told me that when I wake up from the procedure, if they didn't clear that out, I would just be coughing a lot and stuff. So it was like within a matter of minutes of that thing being in me, I was like, it was so good. I even joked, I was like, can I take some of that home with me? Because I need that, because my allergy medicine does nothing for me. That stuff was like Sahara Desert style. It was crazy. And then I think it was around 10 o'clock, they wheeled me back into a room, and there was a male nurse there, and the anesthesiologist was a male. And they hooked me up to another monitor, and they saw that my heart rate was at 162. I was very tachycardic, and I couldn't escape it because I was so scared. This was actually my first experience being put under anesthesia like that. I've had 2 epidurals. I had my wisdom teeth removed. I've had, a filling where they, injected all of that stuff, but I've never been put to sleep. So this was like a scary moment for me, because my initial thought is like, what if I don't make it? What if I don't wake up? Of course your mind is going to wander, even no matter how hard you try. And as somebody who is living with anxiety, that is like the worst thing. So the anesthesiologist, I guess, gave me something to take the edge off, because it went from 162 to 111 in like a matter of seconds after he put something into my IV. So, thank you for that. Then they had me lay over on before they had me lay over on my left side, the male nurse hooked me up to oxygen. So we got the 2 little plasticky things and stuck them up my nose. And that smell is awful. It was like a furniture store, but not a very good furniture store. Like the furniture has been sitting outside for a while, that kind of smell. So they rolled me over on my left side after that, made me comfortable as could possibly be on these little thin pillows. The anesthesiologist folded it up for me so I could be comfortable. And then they put this little plastic block in my mouth, and it had a hole where the scope goes through. And it's just so I don't bite the scope. I don't, press down when they're putting it in there, because when you're asleep, you obviously don't, you don't know what you're doing. And they need to do it as safely as possible, because do no harm, right? So they put the little block on me. And then they told me to just breathe and relax. And then the anesthesiologist came up to me, and I knew that was time. And, he was like, all right, this is it. And I was like, okay. And I should have closed my eyes, because it was like within seconds of him putting the anesthesia in there. It was like my eyes went like all blurry. There was like little black spots all over the place, and I was like, whoa. And it felt like I was in a time warp. In movies or TV shows, sometimes when people go shoom, like the speed of light, that's what it felt like. And of course, initially my reaction is to fight it, because it's a fight or flight thing. It wasn't like I was trying to do it. I was like, whoa. And the anesthesiologist was like, nope, just let it happen. And then boom. And the next thing I know, I'm having a dream about biscuits and gravy. I am about to eat a plate of biscuits and gravy, which I have not been able to have in a long time, mind you. And then the nurse is waking me up, and I didn't get to eat my biscuits and gravy. I was like, not even in my sleep can I eat this. And so I left at close to 11 o'clock. So I think the whole procedure, I don't know how long it took for them to do the endoscopy. A couple minutes, I'm sure, and then they had to make sure that everything was okay, and I think you have to sit back there for like 30, 45 minutes, whatever their protocol is, and then I was good to go. She said, I do remember her saying, stand up, I want to see you walk. And so I stood up and walked out to the waiting room where my husband was, because you have to have somebody take you home, because you obviously can't drive, and so the next thing I remember, I'm in the car. I don't even remember getting to the car. It was like, whatever. And then it takes 30 minutes to get to our house from where I had to go. And all of a sudden, it was like I snapped out of it, and we're almost to the house. And I'm like, when the hell did we get here? So I was like a little bit loopy for about a good 30, 45 minutes after after I woke up from all of it and stuff like that. But I wasn't tired or anything. I wasn't sleepy. I was tired, like my body was tired, but I'm always tired now because of my health issues, so I don't necessarily know if that was a side effect of all of that, but I wasn't sleepy. I mean, I didn't want to go like run a mile or anything, but I took it easy on the couch. I was able to eat lunch that day. I had a tuna fish sandwich with crust cut off because I'm supposed to have soft foods. I have to remain on a soft food diet. So not sure what they found. That's another thing is they didn't tell my husband or myself anything. They didn't tell us any kind of news, good or bad. So, I mean, I guess no news is technically good news. If they did take biopsies, I'm not sure. But I'm sure I'll get all that information in the mail, or I can give them a call and say, hey, I haven't heard anything. What's going on? But I feel like if it was something that was urgent, or emergent, they would have told me that. So, I'm kind of keeping my fingers crossed that it isn't anything crazy. It's probably just IBS or some gastritis or some crazy nonsense that's been going on, and I just, I don't know how to heal. My body's like, hey, stop it. But yeah, I had my tuna fish sandwich. I laid up on the couch, watched some TV shows, and then for dinner, I ordered Chinese food for the whole family. I had steamed chicken and broccoli. I'm not allowed to eat raw vegetables. Everything has to be cooked. I can have mashed potatoes, soups, things like that. My throat was kind of dry, but I drank some Gatorade. I drank water. I drank all sorts of stuff to kind of just help, get rid of the dryness. And then around 5:30 at night, my throat started getting really scratchy, and like my voice was like, doing that thing. And then I had ice cream, and that helped soothe it. This morning I woke up, my throat was a little bit, but it's nothing I can't handle. It's not a sore throat per se. Like it's in the back. It's not like tonsil sore throat. It's like back there sore throat. Where they put the scope in. So it's fine. It's nothing I can't handle. I do have a cough, but I've had a cough since I've developed these reflux issues, so that the cough doesn't really help much in healing my throat or anything, but I've been doing everything I can to kind of, calm it down and stuff, but I feel fine. I feel okay. I'm gassy. I think you're expected to feel a little bit gassy afterwards for the endoscopy, but like I said, it's nothing really bad. Nothing at all. Kind of good. I mean, again, I can't run a mile today. I wouldn't want to because it's yucky raining. But I mean, honestly, if you have any kind of fears or anxiety over getting an endoscopy, I really want to stress that it's not that crazy, not that big of a deal. I know it's easier said than done. I was a nervous wreck. I mean, my heart rate went up to 162 for goodness sake, because I was just so nervous about the unknown. But look at me, I'm a pro now, right? If I have to do it again, I know exactly what to expect. And honestly, this was one of the easiest things I think I've ever done as far as, I'd rather do this than go to the dentist. I mean, I'm not even joking. So, all right, I hope you guys are, if you are stressed out about an upcoming endoscopy procedure, just hopefully this video helps you out a little bit. And hopefully I can find out what's going on with me. I might make an update, might not, who knows, I don't know, maybe I'll make an update on in the description bar, box, whatever. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I promise I'm not loopy anymore, but I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for listening. Bye.